Hello again and welcome back to another quick starter guide. This time we're looking at a Canon T50, and the reason for that is this is the video that I did earlier on this is by far my most popular video. So there's quite a lot of these cameras out and about, made in the 1980s, between 1983 and 1987, 89 I suppose, something like that. There's quite a lot of these around and they're not a bad little camera. Now I'm taking it if you're watching this video you've managed to get hold of one of these. Usually it's found in a cupboard or in a loft or an attic from a relative. If not, you can pick them up very cheaply. They're a very affordable camera. They're not expensive. They're not desirable. They're not in the same stratospheric silly prices as the Canon A series cameras, for example, particularly the AE1. And for somebody who's moving from digital using, say, a smartphone over to using film, which is all the craze at the moment, then this isn't a bad place to start. Not a complicated camera, very easy to use, and the purpose of this video is just to get you started. So you've got this camera. Give it a quick look over, look for any obvious damage, any dents, dings, bits that are missing, etc. The main problem that you'll find with these cameras is that they're missing this battery door. This is very, very flimsy and very, very simple to break off. It's not very robust. If it's missing, it's not a problem. When we load the batteries, we'll talk a bit more about how you work around that issue. They were only in black, no chrome. They are quite plasticky, style of the 80s. They're not a bad looking camera, and they're pretty well specified. Now, when you come to shoot film, unlike digital, this has no delete button, it has no preview screen on the back, it has no Wi-Fi, it has no Bluetooth, it has absolutely nothing. It is just basically a light tight box with what we call a shutter, which is a door that enables light to reach the film for a certain duration. And these particular cameras can have interchangeable lenses. You can take the lens off and put another one on. If you want to take the lens off, you'll find here little button, push it in and twist and the lens will come off. You'll notice that there's a red dot up there. You can see inside. Don't put your fingers in here, don't go touching all this sort of stuff, it's quite sensitive. In other videos that I've done you'll see how to clean it if it is dusty or dirty in there, but I wouldn't worry too much about it, because if it's got a lens attached then that will keep most of the dust etc. out. To attach the lens, it's red dot to red dot. It says, there you go, twist it clockwise until you hear the click and then the lens is locked into place. Make sure that this lever here on the lens is set to the A position and it will lock into the A position. You want this on the A there. This camera's got a zoom lens. This quite often came as like a standard lens on the camera. And this is a 35mm to 70mm, which means absolutely nothing. But basically you can zoom in and zoom out. You can see there it's moving. So it saves you from walking, getting closer to your subject or further away. 70 is closer, 35 is further away, and 50 is pretty much a sort of standard do it all. Not a bad lens to start with. It's not a particularly fast lens, but we won't really worry about that. This lever here, or this collar here, is for focusing. You can see it's got distances on it. But if you look through the viewfinder, which is this part back here where you can look through, you can see what's going to appear on your image, and you can also adjust the focus depending on, do you want it to be a little bit blurry, a lot blurry, or do you want it to be sharp. This symbol here stands for infinity, which is a long way away. But yeah, have a play with it and have a go at focusing. The numbers are there really for a thing called zone focusing, where you sort of don't want to look through the viewfinder. You can set a distance and then take a picture, but I recommend that you actually use focusing with this camera. Right, push down this button to take the picture. Very simple. There's a little frame counter down here that will tell you how many pictures you've taken. Like I say, there's no preview, there's no delete. Once you take a picture, it is forever. And here we have the mode select dial. You can see, let's come down a little bit more and zoom in and sort the focus out. it's in the locked position, so this is the off position if you like. Don't worry about the hot shoe, we're not going to be doing any flash photography in this one. There's a little lever here that folds out that you can wind round. You can also pull it up as well. The first thing you need to do is to put some batteries in it. Camera is electronic. Very, very early electronics. There's nothing complicated about it. This camera takes 2 AA batteries, so it is marked on here which way they go. You've got a plus and a minus, and sort that out. So the plus is the one with a little bump on the end, so the plus goes in that way, and the minus goes in the other way round. So if the battery door is missing, just use a piece of foil or a piece of metal. That's all this does. It's just to short these two out together, and then a little bit of cardboard and some of the black tape, which I'm going to show you in a minute, because black tape has a lot of uses. Very gently close this door. There's quite a bit of pressure because the batteries are held against a spring, and then just close the door down like so. Right, back to the top. Right, remember this dial over here. If you turn this dial to BC, it should make a beeping noise. The beeping noise is battery check, so that confirms that the batteries are working. If you want to try it out, push the shutter. Nothing happens. Still in the lock position. Stick it in the program position, and then it will try and take a picture. There you go. Nice little clunky mechanical sound there. It advances the film for you. Try and make it as easy as possible. Advances the film for you. So that's the basics of the camera's operation. If you want to do a selfie, stick it on self, push the button down, you'll hear this annoying beep. You run round the front of the camera, make your pose, get your friends together. Bingo, there's your selfie. So yeah, selfies are nothing new. Okay, so now we want to know, how do we get the film in the camera? Film photography is going to cost you. You're going to have to dig into your wallet or your pocketbook, and you're going to have to find somewhere to buy film. If you're in a city or an urban area, probably not too much of a problem. You can probably find it in, maybe if you're lucky, in some camera stores. It used to be available everywhere, film. You used to be able to get it in the supermarkets, drugstores, all those kind of places. But yeah, find yourself a supplier of film. Probably online, it would be the easiest place to look, and then you get it delivered. If you live in the country, it's definitely going to be by mail order online. Lots of different choices of film. There are economy films and there are premium films. If this is your first time shooting film, I suggest you choose an economy film. This camera uses 35mm, which comes in a little box like so. Obviously the boxes are all different depending on the film. This is Fomapan, which is a budget European film. Inside the box there will be a container like this. This is one of my recommendations if you want to use an economy film that's not too expensive. I suggest you shoot colour negative film, and this is Fuji C200. This is 400 actually, this is Neopan. What a mistake to make. C200 would be my choice for starter film. Have I got a C200? Yeah, there's a C200 film. Get rid of that. Neopan's quite a bit more expensive if it's still available. So this is your film. 36 exposures, and its ISO or speed rating is 200. You need to know that. That's quite important. And this is a colour negative film. This is what unexposed film looks like before it's even been developed or exposed to light. So it comes in this little cartridge. So this has to go into the camera. How do we do that? Simple. Sort the focus out. There you go. Pull up on this lever, and it will pull up again, and that will open the back door. And then you can see the inside, and it's like, oh, that looks complicated. Nothing much in there to worry about. Don't stick your fingers in it too much, and certainly don't touch the shutter. That's the door, if you remember, that lets the light through to reach the film. So take your cassette of film, put it in there. This bit's called the leader. pull it across and line it up onto there. If you're a regular on my channel, you know how bad I am at loading film and batteries. The batteries went quite well, so let's see if we can get the film to work quite well for us. So just bring that across until it's where the orange mark is there. And all you've got to do is close the back door, take that down there, and I'll take up the slack on this side just so that I know that it's turning. There you go. This camera is very, very easy to load. Like I say, this will show you the frame counters, the number of exposures that you've got left. So to use it, you need to tell the camera what speed the film is. You'll notice on this collar down here there's a little scale. This film is 200. Can I zoom into that a bit closer so you can actually see it? No. As close as you are. This isn't a macro lens, so it might not be able to focus that close. There you go, you can see it says 400. If you push this chrome button down, you should be able to turn that. You haven't got big sausage fingers like mine. You should be able to turn that dial so that it reads. It's quite fiddly. But you set that. So then it's reading the 200, like so. Even tells you on there ISO. In the old days we used to call it ASA. Don't smoke, kids, it makes your fingernails go yellow. Okay, so we've got our film loaded. We're quite happy shooting away at pictures of whatever. In the viewfinder you'll see a P. If it's green, not a problem. If it's flashing slowly, that means you're going to have a slow shutter speed. There's a risk of camera shake. And if it's flashing quickly, it means it's outside of the range of the camera. You can't really take a photograph, and I don't think it will allow you to take a photograph in those situations. Like I say, not autofocus, so you need to focus. If you've got a zoom lens, you can play around with this to compose what you want, make the picture how you like it, and then push the button. On the bottom, if you'd like to, you can attach it to a tripod, which you can connect into there. When you've finished exposing your films, if you push this thing up here, it will beep when you reach the end of the roll, but I'm not going to shoot this whole roll off. And then you can take this and you can rewind, and you'll feel the tension, and then the tension will stop. If you're sending it to a lab, just keep winding it a few turns until it ends up in the cassette, and it will end up looking like this, where the film leader has completely been wound back into the cassette. And then you need to get this developed. So again, you've got to dig into your pocketbook or wallet, find yourself some money, and send this off to somebody to get developed. Again, in the old days you could go into any Walmart and get it done in an hour, but nowadays it's quite hard to find somebody who does development work. In the US, my recommendation is a group of people called the Darkroom over in California. You can find them on the internet. In the UK, there's also a company called the Darkroom based in Cheltenham. Both have really good reviews, 4.7 or 4.8 out of 5 I think the reviews are. Ask them to make sure that you get a high-res scan, because they're going to develop the film and then they're going to scan it for you onto maybe a CD or maybe to a cloud service where you can download the images from there. But make sure you get a high-resolution scan. In the past, when you go into somewhere like Walmart or Asda as it is here in the UK, and they did your film developing, they used really low resolution scans, and I often found the results were quite disappointing. To get the best out of it, and the things that makes your image important, is the scanning resolution, the quality of the film. If you want to go up market, shoot something like Portra 400, but it's going to cost you more money. Processing will cost you the same. And also your lenses. The camera body has no impact on the quality of your images at all. As long as it's working properly, as it should do, you won't have any issues with the camera body. The quality comes from the lens, the film, the processing and the scanning. The camera bodies, don't worry about them. And if you're investing in photography equipment, spend your money on lenses. Don't spend your money on bodies with all the latest gizmos. It's not worth it. They don't keep their value, to be honest. One of the issues you might have is because obviously this is a light tight box, is it might not be light tight. So what I'd recommend you do is you shoot a couple of rolls as the camera is now, and then if I can find it in the drawer of rubbish, I suggest getting yourself some black tape. This is electrical insulating tape. Very, very useful. You might need to use this to construct a new kind of battery door with a bit of tin foil to make the thing work in the first place. But use this and put some tape around these edges here and across here and across the back, just to make sure it's light tight. But like I say, shoot 2 or 3 pictures at the start with it as it is, and then tape up the back area, and then carry on shooting it normally. If the camera has got a light leak, the first couple of images will show you the light leak, but the rest of the shots should be okay. If it hasn't got a light leak, the first couple of shots should be fine, in which case you don't need to worry about the tape on the camera. And the light seals, let me just open this up in here, quite easy to replace. I've done videos on replacing light seals before. Still wound in. Going well, isn't it? You've got to push that in and rewind the film. There you go, you see the leader coming off. And I'm not going to wind it all the way in because it's my test film. Lift that up, the film will come out. Yeah, the light seals are this area around here. Quite often there's foam. These aren't too bad, they don't really rely on foam, but in a lot of cameras there's foam around here. But yeah, if you're not sure about the camera whether it's light tight, do that trick with the black tape after a couple of exposures and you should be fine. Cost of film, 10-15 bucks. In the UK probably £8 to £10 a film. £15 for a good film. Cost of developing Darkroom in the States, I think it's about 12 bucks, plus postage, etc. So you're looking at, it's quite expensive. Yeah, $1 a shot maybe, and I don't know, 50-60p a shot. So it is quite an expense. It's an experience. Maybe try it once and decide it's not for you. If you decide it is for you, please subscribe. More videos coming about welcome to the world of film photography, the hottest place in town. So there you go folks, Canon T50, lots of them about, quick start guide. Get yourself some film, price of a couple of beers, and go out and shoot some memories, as they say, and yeah, have fun with it. You get the results back in about a week, so yeah, you have to wait a week before you can see what they come out like. That's the exciting part, the anticipation and the expectation, rather than just chimping and looking at a screen on the back. Thank you very much for watching, hope you enjoyed. Comments, questions and queries always welcome. Any problems with any type of sort of situation with photography, give me a shout. I've been doing it 40 odd years, so there's not a lot I don't know about photography, although I'm a rubbish photographer. I call myself a snapper rather than a photographer. I'm not artistic, I hope your vision is better than mine and you have some more creative ideas. I just tend to take photographs of things that I see, pretty boring really. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care, bye.